everybody to me is kind of missing the mark in terms of the takeaways and what this reporting is. And if anybody missed it, our Shams Charania had reported that Kyrie Irving had reached out to LeBron to talk about possibly joining him in Dallas. Now, in terms of this little thing known as the CBA and salary caps and rules of the association, that kind of prospect is incredibly dim. And the idea to me of the Lakers cooperating on a potential buyout to let LeBron go to Dallas seems like a non-starter as well. But I think I'm always a sucker for all right, don't get caught up in well, this is delusional or even dumb because it can't happen. That's not the takeaway. The takeaway is that from the second the Lakers lost to the Nuggets, LeBron wasted zero time sending a signal that he was not content with the current state of affairs. That is it, and I know I'm subjective because I live this, but when we had a conversation mid-season that certainly made the rounds and that he had pushed back against when he famously said, y'all know what the F needs to happen in regards to the roster. You go from that, which is conceivably applying pressure to Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, to Rob, and a lot of times we've been pretty tough on Rob on this podcast. I'll flip it, be like, Rob, maybe took a little while to get there, but made some great moves and basically did exactly what LeBron had asked for, a more well-rounded team that looked a lot more like the team that won the title in 2020. And then the Lakers plan, and you don't have to even know this crew with the Lakers these days for them to share with you, no, we are re-signing Austin Reeves. We are re-signing Rui Hachimura. We are not going down the Kyrie Irving road. That's the messaging. Well, guess who does not appear to be happy with that? You know what I mean? So whether it's LeBron and Kyrie in LA, LeBron and Kyrie in Dallas, or just, LeBron weighing every possible option, I don't know where it leads. But if he was happy with the group and ready to try it again next year, you would not be hearing this kind of noise.
Yeah, and I'm glad you took it here because I think we're going to continue on our media talk vibes here because whenever this type of stuff comes out, I think it's really interesting because the reaction for the masses is, oh my God, Kyrie and LeBron are talking. Will LeBron go to Dallas? And I think for us, and I mean, I'll speak for myself, for me, whenever I see these type of reports come out, I say, why is this coming out?
Right.
Because right. I'll reveal something to people who don't know. NBA players who play for other teams talk about playing together all the time.
Right.
This isn't anything new. As a guy who covered Anthony Davis when he was in New Orleans, people were hitting him up constantly about playing elsewhere, and he was hitting other people up about coming. And
he was not leaking it, or his people were not leaking it.
Exactly. It wasn't ended up on Shams' timeline. So the fact that we're hearing about this, and LeBron isn't a guy who lets everybody know who he's texting on a daily basis. So the fact that we're hearing about this tells you something about LeBron's camp and Kyrie's camp, the way that they're moving. And I think it's fascinating because I keep going back and forth on kind of who does this benefit more? Who would really want this out, or us having this conversation? And I think you're exactly right that LeBron's making it clear, and he's made it clear throughout his time in LA that he wants stars. He wants 3 stars. He wants 4 stars on his team in LA. And as much as he enjoyed that experience this year with Austin Reeves, Rui, and all of those guys fighting their way to the conference finals, I'm sure he feels like, for me to win a title, I need a 3rd star next to me and AD. And it was fun doing this. But for us to win, I need to do what I did in Miami and get some stars together and win. And I think it's going to be really interesting the way Rob Pelinka moves throughout this offseason, because one thing we know about LeBron is his thoughts are going to be heard, whether it's behind closed doors or through the media. He's going to let you know how he feels. And Rob Pelinka has got and he's done a good job to this point, but he's going to have to continue to kind of move through that minefield of making sure he appeases LeBron while also doing the right thing and not making the same mistake he did with the Russell Westbrook trade.
That's the thing that blows me away a little bit, is the idea that LeBron would so quickly go back to this script that did not work last time around. Now, the only kind of qualifier there is that, I think his camp would tell you the Westbrook thing obviously backfired, was a disaster, but we can't forget that was like option 3 in terms of star player joining their group. All right, it didn't work out. And so maybe he's just convinced it would with Kyrie. Lightheartedly, I'll say maybe this is all D'Lo's fault. You know what I mean? LeBron saw some of D'Lo's play late against Denver, thought about the idea that the Lakers might give him some sort of a bag and didn't like how that made him feel and started.
I mean, can you blame the guy when your replacement is sitting courtside at your home games? You're thinking you're feeling good when you go home and it's like, oh yeah, the guy that replacing me is sitting courtside.
It's funny you say that. I've written this. That reminds me of when D'Lo was with Minnesota. I went to this shoot around. I've told this story on the pod before. It was a shoot around, or like man, what do they call them? Like just for the scrubs that aren't getting minutes, it's just a get your work in scrimmage, right? After shoot around. And D'Angelo was playing with the Timberwolves guys who were not getting time. And Anthony Edwards is sitting courtside, and D'Lo was having an okay game. And every time he'd hit a shot, he was shouting over at Ant, saying, "Man, why don't you love me? Why don't you love me?" And something along those lines, like trying to get Ant's love, like that. So maybe that was him in the playoffs with Kyrie. Like, why are you in my house, man? Get out of here. Now we'll see what they do. And then the other part of this too, Will, is and I don't have too much insight on this just yet. I got to make some phone calls, but the Luka component, it would make me uncomfortable if I was Luka. And that's just me talking. Like the chaos that often comes with Kyrie has come to his doorstep very quickly. I heard a pod today, friend and colleague, this group over here at the Ringer that I enjoy, Logan Murdoch and Raja Bell, were doing their thing with Howard Beck. And Raja cracked me up because he goes, did they have a rules change in Dallas where they roll 3 balls out? Is that what happens now? Because pretty high usage rate between LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
So
to say the least.
But I don't know what to think of all of it, because even on the Dallas side, Will, again, I know that it's incredibly implausible, but as you there's connective tissue there that does kind of, make you think a bit, where you got Jason Kidd, very close relationship with LeBron. There's members of that coaching staff in addition that are close with LeBron.
You've Jared Dudley, right?
Yeah, Jared Dudley. Greg St. Jean was with the Lakers before. Nico Harrison, I always remember talking to Nico, head of the Mavs front office, for a couple of years now after they did the Kyrie trade. And I thought it was so fascinating because, his attitude in regards to the trade, like he, at that time anyway, was not losing an ounce of sleep. It was like every day of the week, all day, this is a move you have to do. You got to, it's Kyrie Irving. You have to do it. And so Nico, is a guy who is in terms of his fabric, he's formerly of Nike, incredible relationships with, damn near every star player in the NBA. He, like Kyrie, like LeBron, like he is a star player kind of mentality type of guy. We all know Mark Cuban always swings for the fences. So a lot of layers to this thing. And I do think as it relates to Luka, I sure hope they're really kind of critically analyzing this thing and being careful about how he sees the whole vibe.
Yeah, and I think the Dallas part of this is super interesting because you kind of see Kyrie putting his point out there, how he wants this team built. We haven't really heard what Luka wants, right? Or what Luka thinks, or how he believes this team should be built. And we're not even super clear that the Luka Kyrie thing even works, right? I mean, they went 5-11 together last year, and some of that was just the roster kind of got blown up by them acquiring Kyrie. But I think, man, just the way that Luka, what his role is going to be moving forward, if Kyrie is his teammate, if these kind of stories pop up consistently when Kyrie's in your building, how Luka moves in that environment, how he's able to establish himself as a leader, because, man, things got really ugly for them at the end of last season. And if things just, you kind of feel that same vibe to start next season,
right?
What are they going to do? And how does Luka respond to that? I think a lot of the NBA world is waiting to see, because we know Luka is one of the greatest players on the planet, and things just aren't going well right now in Dallas. And I think when we talk about this all the time, when you invest yourself in that Kyrie Irving business, you got to brace yourself for what comes with it. And I think this is part of it, right? That when these stories
remember, Will, he jumped on social media and said, "Man, stop asking me about what I'm going to do this summer. I just want to keep it quiet." Like, okay,
keep it quiet, guys. I'll text Shams and let him know when I want you guys to talk about my off season.